A nie. Kurier codzienny. Tragedia na Marszałkowskiej. Spalona kamienica przyczyna śmierci kilku osób. Chowanego warszawskiego przedsiębiorcy. Sława Szulskiego. Nikt nie wie, co było przyczyną katastrofy. Zła konstrukcja budynku, czy może planowany atak. Wiadomo tylko, że nie można było tego przewidzieć. Szok i niedowierzanie. Zamieszkiwana była przez 4 rodziny. Wiadomo, że 3 z nich są w żałobie z powodu straty bliskich. Włocławcy i córkę. Państwo Grodeckich. Wrocławiu zginął również Franciszek Kowolski, wiele składów fabrycznych, wózków i pościeli. Sprawa jest badana przez stołeczną policję, a mieszkańcom zalecana jest ostrożność w terach ulic miasta. Kurier warszawski, jaki wtedy wcześniej był? Społeczny? Nie wiem. Jeden z najjaśniejszych państwa. Gdy niniejszy numer kuriera znajdzie się w rękach czytelników, Warszawa widać będzie na starych murach najdostojniejszych gości, najjaśniejszy pan Mikołaj II, cesarz wszech Rosji, król Polski, wielki książę Francji oraz najjaśniejsza pani cesarzowa Aleksandra Teodorówna w południu przybywają do miasta. Odwiedziny Warszawy parę monarszą badają obecnie pierwsze i na tę od dawna oczekiwaną i radosną piękną przybrało dziś postać. Wtedy przystrojone są festonami kwiatów i zieleni. Zaś stoi przed którą przejeżdżać ma orszak monarszy, gromadzą się najjaśniejszym państwu hołd ze strony Warszawy i całego królestwa. A wraz z tym hołdem życzliwie wiernopoddańczej serc Polaków płynie do podnóża tronu echo gorących pragnień całej otuchy. Źródłem owych uczuć są słowa Najjaśniejszego Pana, który w manifestach najwyższych raczył wskazać jako cel główny zapewnienie szczęścia wszystkim wiernym poddanym i spełnienia potrzeb wszystkich wiernych poddanych. Całe słowo monarchy stało się dla Królestwa Polskiego straniem otuchy. Owej otuchy ludność polska pod perłem rosyjskim radośnie wita dzisiaj naszego monarchę. Pamięte będą istotne jej ufności gotowej do obywatelskiej państwowej posługi. Ulotki rewolucyjne. Bracia, 11-godzinny czas pracy zabija po dniu. Wzorem robotników fabryk niemieckich, angielskich walczymy. Skrócenie czasu pracy do 9 godzin. Weźcie udział w strajku. Swoje narzędzie i przystąpcie do walki o naszą przyszłość. Ej, menu. Trawka z raków. W galerecie indyczki młode. Od
Why such a...
The circus has come to town.
These are troubled times. Brothers turn against brothers. Russia has had enough bloodshed. The violence must stop. When socialists attempt to divide Russia and her subject nations, to dent the sword that smote the enemy at Grunwald, this demands my decisive action. Thus, by my grace, I hereby appoint as Governor-General of Warsaw Georgi Antonovich Skowon.
A butcher.
It's a popular guy, I presume.
I see you ain't from here. That swine keeps a photo album of all the folks he's had shot at the city.
Before and after execution.
So, the time for leniency and indulgence is over. From the moment this office is bestowed on me, no forces hostile to the subjects of Greater Russia will have any further right to exist. None! Whether it be brutal socialist subversives, communists, Jews, or other satanic provocateurs.
He sure knows how to unite a crowd.
Pardon me. Are you Polish?
I was born in Warsaw, but I'm lapsed. Name's Victor.
Wanda.
This is Russia here. Like it or not, Warszawa. Время террора закончилось.
Иди нахуй!
My first decision as Governor-General of Warsaw. Arrestovать.
Great heroes in their sense of timing. Of course, now they're the first ones in the fight.
Samobladanie, Polyaki. We want that rebel. The Loudmouth.
Damn.
What happened?
Be a gentleman. Please kneel and tie my shoe.
I didn't dare suggest it myself.
Can I ask you a tiny favor? The Russians can't find out about this. The military is just looking for an excuse to suppress the crowd, and these workers are dreaming of thrashing a Russian gendarme.
Either one of you confesses to disturbing the peace, or всех забирай. We'll take you all in.
You can't handle all of us.
Can you get us out of here?
I think I'm open to any kind of suggestion.
With a book like that, I'd find out what would convince one of these bastards to let us go. Or I'd take on that self-appointed leader of the proletariat.
Interesting strategy. Who are you, really?
A damsel in distress.
Those don't usually hide ammunition in their stockings.
Can I explain it to you another time?
For instance, I could disclose to a soldier that you came here with ammunition under your skirt.
Maybe we should see who they believe. A respected lady of Warsaw, or a common magician who just 100 years ago would have been burned at the stake.
Well, since you asked so nicely. I'm going to take a look around. Do you think it's a good idea to stir people up and send them to face bullets and bayonets?
What do you want then? My whole life on my knees? Kissing Ruski's ass?
Was trying to keep from dragging ordinary people into the fight. They won't expect us to strike first. How many are coming with us?
Let's see for ourselves.
Arrestowa!
Szulski. Wiktor.
One of those Shulskis?
Yes.
My condolences. Now, profile.
Thank you.
What you pissing in the bucket for, asshole?
Where else am I supposed to?
Down in the bucket, whiz on the wall.
You better remember that, too. That bucket's gonna last you guys till tomorrow.
Can I use the phone?
What are you staring at, Genna?
I don't know what that means.
Quit squealing. First time in the big city? Have some respect if you don't know who you're running your mouth at. He's one of them that went after the Ruskies with his bare fists.
For being innocent.
Same as all of us. Well, are you from somebody?
My name's Wiktor Szulski, and I work on my own behalf.
All right. Respect.
First of all, I am a thaumaturge.
Now them, I got respect for. I know one really decent Jew from Povishla, who's a wizard too.
How about you? You got a foreskin or what?
Is my foreskin any of your fucking business?
Well, no. I was just...
Schmuck. But you don't look like much of a Warsaw lad.
I'm just here for my father's funeral.
I hope you don't miss the funeral toasts. Welcome to Warsaw.
I wouldn't call you a master strategist.
You got away from the station, so theoretically, we achieved our goal.
You're not losing your sense of humor. I guess this isn't your first time in a place like this, is it?
We've got a little time to kill. Maybe now you can tell me more about yourself. You seem to know your way around this city. You been here often?
I'll take that as a compliment. And sure, sometimes, if the cause demands it.
What cause?
Let's say I know certain folks who'd find pulls like you useful.
Dealers in stolen Dutch pomade?
Donut connoisseurs. They met at Burke Rotblitz's cafe.
I don't want to jinx it, but do you spend time there too?
If I'm not there, no one will want to talk to you. And don't worry, I don't usually hang out long in places like this.
Shulski!
I see you won't be hanging out here long either.
Shulsky, this your...
That's right.
Then take it and get out of here.
Can I ask why the sudden change of plans? Anyone I should thank?
If he wants to, he'll tell you himself.
Thank you.
Zbud. Argument. W obecności w Warszawie miłościwego nam cara wszechdusi będny rządzą więc podwojenie liczby patroni. Każdy. Patrz thaumaturge. Czarna. Realizacja miasta Warszawy jako narzędzie judaizmu szarlatania rolnictwa i polskiego oraz wytłumaczenia ludności słowiańskiej nazwisku. Tramwaj. Nagrobek. Tutaj Jan Chmielec spoczywa drogi. W 1001 roku wyciągnął nogi. To, czym jest teraz, zakryła trawa, a kim był kiedyś, niegdyś, nie wasza sprawa. Ale rymy na nagrobku.
I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences.
Thank you.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Shulsky took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
Why are you so interested in my father's cause of death?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
I think I ought to arrest you, thaumaturge.
I haven't done anything, officer. What's the problem?
I barely recognize you either. You still haven't figured out who I am? Don't be surprised. The last time we saw one another was 20 kilos ago.
Uncle Voronian?
I will not keep you. The guy's probably all alone back there, among those vultures circling Stasio. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. Go on. We'll talk later.
Sister?
Victor. I'm so glad you came. I wasn't sure if my telegram had reached you.
I'm glad too. How are you holding up?
Oh, this caught me off guard, but... For now, I don't have time to think things through calmly. Look at yourself. What happened?
This? It's nothing. You should see the nun who did it to me.
Victor.
I'm perfectly fine. We've got more important things to discuss. It's not worth worrying about. Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but... what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late. And we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got your own matters to clear up.
Fine, let's get this over with. So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago. After brief suffering, fell asleep in the Lord. Brief? I hope not. Did you write this yourself? A tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved, died after suffering all too briefly. That's better, and definitely closer to the truth. The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember you as you were back then. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe I'd succeed. You were wrong. I've come back with 2 salutars. I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say to your face. All those years, I said them over and over to myself in my head. How you were never able to admit a mistake. You never sought blame in yourself. Someone else was always guilty, never you. Mother because she wanted something for herself in life. Ligia because she wasn't born a boy. Me because I was born a thaumaturge, but I didn't want to live following your principles. And now... Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
What do you want?
Well, what do people come to funerals for? I came to pay my respects to the dead. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Victor Szulski, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
I haven't had time to think about it.
I understand. I hope you'll find some reason to stay here a little longer. Again, my condolences.
I didn't catch your name.
My name's Kanieczkin. Ivan Kanieczkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. Great-grandmother Josefina, a thaumaturge. Grandpa Nikodem, a thaumaturge. I barely remember him. Go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral. Eros post-mortem. Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Szabłowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you. And you, sir?
I suggest you leave. Otherwise, I'll overlook your womanhood and make sure you can never pronounce a single syllable correctly again.
You'd permit that to happen, Judge? Maybe I should write about this.
And who would let you print it?
Someday the press will get the Russian boot off its neck, Judge.
I'm afraid none of us will live to see the day, my dear. Come on, children. I'm sure my Petya is already waiting for us at home.
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already waiting for us.
Your guests have arrived. The lawyer's upstairs too, waiting. A trifle jittery. Wonder if the tea I made him was too strong.
Thank you, Grażyna, dear. Let the guests wait. First, I want to take care of the will.
I'll just wet my whistle and join you all upstairs.
Make sure Uncle makes it upstairs sober. And I'll suggest you don't dawdle either.
Master Victor, good God! Half your face covered, but I could tell right away it was you. You look just like your father in his youth. Completely his spitting image. Should I make you some cocoa, Master? It would warm you up a little.
No need to fuss, Grażynka. I'm used to worse chills than this.
It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Pietia! Forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stasios. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure. How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasia's study after every funeral we went to, and raise a toast to the dead. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasia and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone?
May the ground be soft, Father. I'm not betting there's an afterlife.
Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
Yes, let's find out what my father hasn't left me.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Shulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaslav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen. Therefore, my first irrevocable wish is to appoint as executrix of this will my daughter Lygia Szulska. Immediately after my death, an inventory shall be conducted in full accordance with the law. After completing the inventory, all my personal movables will be sold at public auction. And let the funds raised thereby be donated on the anniversary of my death to the beggars near that cemetery. The administration of the remainder of my fortune I leave, without restriction, to the person of my daughter Lygia.
I'm not even getting a teaspoon.
All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. I wish that the business should be conducted with modesty, prudence, and honesty, as I have conducted it my whole life.
A joker to the very end.
To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following. My collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Viktor Szulski, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Shulsky used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did Father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
The grimoire. Could someone have taken it?
Perhaps, in all that confusion.
But why would anyone want Papa's grimoire? An ordinary person won't use it. Would the thaumaturge just happen to be passing by?
Father had all his knowledge in there, but I don't know if it would be useful to someone other than him. I don't even know why he left it to me.
I'm sure Stasio had a reason.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
I foresaw a slightly more pleasant end for him, myself. I doubt even he deserved such a horrible death.
Those might be the kindest words you've ever said on the subject of a father.
How typical of his sort of person to keep a portrait in his study of a family that was only a family on canvas. Not long after the painting was done, he got divorced, ruined the Niedzicas, and kicked out his son. But there the portrait hangs, as if family meant anything at all.
I don't know what exactly happened with Abourice, but I know that Papa felt guilty. You don't want to forgive him even now that he's gone?
The dead need no forgiving. And as for forgetting, I don't know how. It's just a shame about the grimoire.
What do you intend to do?
And Mordechai Chayat. Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
And where are Father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
And the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock-taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish. Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.
How do you find our old stomping ground? Yes, I'm not too fond of this place either. This is where I had my last conversation with my father, just before I left. If you can call it a conversation. Can you see my dreams? Nightmares, actually. Ever since I decided to come back, I keep reliving the same memory. The loan shark incident. I've been seeing his death more and more lately. I wonder if the shop is still there. Perhaps we should go there and check.